But first, though, the recap of the Nevada game. Amy Gill made the trip to Reno. She joins us now with all the action from Mackey Stadium, and she's warm now.
Well, as we do heading into this game, this would be the biggest Bulldog game of the season, based simply because of what was on the line. A Bulldog win would mean that they're in the driver's seat to win the West Division and earn a spot in the Mountain West title game. Lose, and the Wolfpack, well, they basically wrap things up there. As most of you know, there's a few Valley natives on Nevada's squad. One of them, Clovis West grad Kendall Brock, celebrating senior day with his family. First quarter of action, the Dogs get going. Martez Waller hurt his shoulder last week in the game, a nice 21-yard pickup, but he would be brought down on the sideline, taken out of the game. Coach DeRuyter said afterwards that he was feeling a bit woozy. He'll be evaluated this week. On the drive, Burrell, coming off a great performance against San Jose State, sacked by another Valley native, Edison High grad Raheem Yates. The Dogs punt. Cody Fajardo sacked by Maurice Hoyadu, fumbles the ball. Tyler Davison with the recovery there, and that would set up Brian Burrell to his main man, Josh Harper, for the score at 7-0 Dogs. Right after that, Fajardo gets the ball, and he fakes the handoff. Definitely faked me out, and the camera moves right there. He holds onto the football, runs it 55 yards all the way for the touchdown, and this game is all knotted up 7-7. Early now, second quarter, Fajardo, well, he does it again. Fakes everyone out again, takes it the other way. This time, it is a 60-yard rushing score for the Nevada QB, and the Pack go up 14-7. Fresno State, though, they responded. Burrell with a nice toss over the middle to Greg Watson. Got to stiff arm some defenders right there. Makes his way through the Wolfpack D, 46 yards before he is taken down. And that sets up another Bulldog touchdown. Burrell, this time to Aaron Peck, 13-yard score. It is tied up once again, 14-14. The next Bulldog drive, Burrell doing it yet again through the air, this time to Watson. Takes it in the rest of the way for the score. Fresno State now up 21-14. But Mr. Brian Burrell, he couldn't have a completely perfect first half of the game. Next drive, he is picked off by Lenny Jones. Jones returns at 29 yards before he would be brought down. So it goes back to Fajardo, and this would be actually his only passing touchdown of the game. And it goes over the middle to Don Jackson for the score. The Pack actually missed the point after, so the Dogs still lead by 21-20. Nevada's next drive, Fajardo is intercepted by Carl Mickelson, and he takes it 10 yards before he would be taken down. But on the drive, hey, it's all paying off, right? Burrell fakes the handoff to Josh Quezada. He takes it in himself instead. So how about that? A 28-20 lead in the half. And guess what? They were not done. Burrell again to Aaron Peck, their second touchdown connection of the game. So it is now 5 touchdowns for Burrell in the game. The Bulldog D, they were holding strong in the second half. A sack by Donovan Lewis. The defense would actually end up with a safety as well. And hey, how about Quezada on the day? After Waller left the game, he was just picking things up. Quezada finished the day with 119 yards on the ground, another 58 yards receiving for him. And the Bulldogs, hey, they're doing it big with the win 40-20. So that puts them at 4-3 in the conference. And with wins over the Pack and San Diego State, puts them in line to win the West Division should they win next week. We'll go over all of that more in just a second, but here's some of the final numbers. Burrell, 25 of 46 for 313 yards through the air, 4 passing touchdowns, ran for another 56 on the ground, and had that rushing touchdown, of course. So Greg Watson was the top target of the day, but between him, Peck, Harper, Quezada, things were pretty evenly spread out in that attack. Fresno State, well, hey, they were definitely feeling good after last night's huge victory.
For the last month, when people had thrown dirt on them, thought it was over, our coaches never gave up, and our players obviously never gave up either. We knew before the season, we talked about this, having to come up here and win on the road in the cold. Didn't think we could do it with 3 losses and still have a chance to win the Western Division, but our guys found a way to get it done.
It's definitely not what we thought would happen from the very beginning of the season, but going into the last game of the season to have a chance to play for the Mountain West Championship is everything we wanted. We're excited. We're going to be ready.
We played how we were capable of playing, and it's nice to finally be able to do that and put that out there for everybody to see. That's how we're capable of playing. And in the second half, it really showed. That's who we are.
I feel like defense, our whole practice this whole week was really energized. We're working hard out there, and we're just everybody get to the ball. We just had that mentality of just going all out, laying it down for your brother.
And you know who else was laying it all down for your brother? Brian Burrell. Coach DeRuyter said after the game, that he really could not give Brian Burrell enough praise, especially with all the ups and downs that he has had to go through this entire season. Over his last 2 games against San Jose State and Nevada, Burrell has thrown for more than 500 yards and scored 8 touchdowns, picked off only twice. Put in perspective, to begin the season, it took Burrell 5 games to be able to score 8 touchdowns. So the rest of the offense, definitely clicking, putting things together at exactly the right time.
We played really well in the first half, and then we had a lot of missed opportunities. I missed a couple of receivers that were wide open. We had a couple drops, and we're gonna be able to build off this. We're gonna be better than this.
I think he's had a few good games, but this is probably his best one. I'm proud of him. I knew he could do it, and I'm just happy for him.
I think we're all pretty happy for him. I mean, he's got to go through so much this season, and getting back to going into the starting role against San Jose State and Nevada, and just putting everything together. It's been awesome to watch.
Well, Amy, you were there. Did you see anything out of Brian Burrell that we hadn't seen from him during the course of the season? There was no indication that he was going to have this good of a game, but he did.
Honestly, I mean, I think he kind of actually said after the game that it wasn't so much, like, obviously they were clicking and everything in the first half, but he was the first to say, hey, we still made these mistakes. We had, drop balls. He didn't hit all of his receivers and everything like that. But, I mean, obviously he's definitely clicking, and the run game is also coming along as well. Yeah, Waller ended up having to go out of the game with another injury, but Quezada's picking it up, and, I mean, the entire offense just seems to be clicking. Burrell also said the offensive line did a really great job. So probably part of it.
Who would have thought that Martez Waller goes down and Fresno State has an air attack where Burrell puts up his 3rd 300-yard game of the season?
Yeah, and did better than Cody Fajardo.
Exactly. And as we know, this was a big game for Nevada as well, because like the Bulldogs, the Wolfpack also controlled their own destiny for a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. Now, here's what they had to say after losing to Fresno State.
I'm embarrassed, disgusted. It's going to hurt. Just knowing that going out senior night, it was an embarrassment for all the stuff that we had to play for.
I am embarrassed. I told the team in the locker room this is the first time all year I've been embarrassed. I've been disappointed. There have been times that we had chances to win games and we didn't make enough plays, but this is the first time this year I've been embarrassed.
Amy, you were there. Your reaction?
I mean, I think that's pretty much right on. I don't think we really expected this out of Nevada. I think everybody kind of thought it would be a much closer game. I mean, who would have thought that the Bulldogs are putting it together at the right time? We've obviously talked so much about the offense, but the defense put up such a great game as well. They forced 4 turnovers in the game. Fresno State only had 2. So, I mean, we had 3 forced fumbles. Fresno State did against Nevada. So, I mean, that kind of Fresno State was definitely making the big plays at the right time.
So let's take a look at the Mountain West standings. With 1 week to go in the regular season, we now have 2 Mountain West teams nationally ranked. Colorado State is 21st in both the AP and the coaches polls. Boise State entered the top 25 this week at number 25. Boise State hosts Utah State next Saturday, and if the Broncos win, they will host the Mountain West Championship game on December 6th. In the West Division, Fresno State and San Diego State are both tied with 4-3 conference records. Of course, we know the Bulldogs have the tiebreaker, so if Fresno State beats Hawaii next Saturday, the Bulldogs will be in the Mountain West Championship game, and guess what they'll be wearing for that Hawaii game?
Oh, you guys want to wear black jerseys?
The real question has to be, what is Hawaii going to wear? Are they going to come with, I've seen the rainbow that they've had on the shoulders and some,
they had the
some of
throwback
that kind of stuff. So.
The throwback jerseys last night looked really good for Hawaii. I'm pretty sure they'll be in white, but yeah, Fresno State wearing black jerseys, everything on the line Saturday night.